Hey Om everyone, Pranam. Welcome back. Yes. Sadashivasamaramбhaम् Shankaracharya-madhyamam Asmadacharya-paryantam Vande Guru-paramparam Shruti-smriti-purananam Alayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavad-pada Shankaram Lokashankaram Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutra Bhashya Kritau Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punaha Om Sahana Vavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryankaravavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu Ma Vidvishavahai Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. You chant along with at your own place. Tapobhihi Shina-papanam Shantanam Vitaraginam Mumukshunam-apekshyoyam Atma Bodho Vidhiyate Bodhonya-sadhanebhyo hi Sakshan mokshaika-sadhanam Pakasya vannivajnanam Vina moksho na siddhyati Avirodhitaya karma Na vidyam vinivartayet Vidya vidyam nihantyeva Tejastimira sanghavat Parichinna iva jnanat Tannashe sati kevalaha Swayam prakashate yatma मेघापायेंशुमानिव अज्ञानकलुषं जीवम् ज्ञानाभ्यासाद्विनिर्मलम् कृत्वा ज्ञानं स्वयं नश्येत् जलं कतकरेणुवत्. So we have seen so far this much. Just quickly running over, helping us revise. First was Atma Bodha Vidhiyate. Vidhiyate means virachyate, means composing. Atma Bodha is being composed. For whom? For mumukshus. It will benefit the mumukshus. Who are these mumukshus? Those mumukshus who through their tapobhihi, vachika, kaika, manasa, all three karmas, the karmas that are meant for purification, through those karmas, Sheena Papanam, whose inauspiciousness has been destroyed, the obstacles to Atmagyanam have been reduced or destroyed, as a result of which Shantanam, they have this internal state of peace and Vairagyam. Vitaragina is the Vairagyam. For them, the next few verses, which means till the end of the book, the topic is being constructed, is brought out. Here we saw the Adhikari Lakshan. We also saw the Anubandha Chatushtayam that pertains to any Vedantic text or any text that is to be qualified as a scripture in the first place. Then we saw in the second verse, the example here was Pakasya Vahnivat. That is the one to be reflected upon. Just as for cooking, fire is the direct means. So the question here was, if all this tapas has been given, those tapas is also alaukika karma, shastriya karma. It has already been said in the Shastras. Why, when they can reduce the papam and destroy the papam, will that itself not give moksha? That should be a logical question that could arise in a person. To answer that is the second question. So I am repeating the question. Tapo bhihi, the first word. Through tap, it said the papas are getting destroyed. The papam is getting destroyed. Papam is in the sense of dukkham, klesham in life. That dukkham and klesham that one experiences, which prevents an internal state of inquiry, that papam gets destroyed through kaika, vachika, and manasa karmas. This includes all others. We said it also includes all upasanas and everything that is called a spiritual practice, in whichever language you may use it. Whether a Buddhist uses his spiritual language, whether any religion, whoever is doing austerity, the purpose of that austerity will be Sheena Papana. It is essential. It is not disqualifying. It is not belittled. It is not ridiculed, or it is not reduced to saying that it is non-effective. It is to convey the right purpose of it. What is the right purpose? What is the right end of this tapas? What should we expect out of tapas? Because in the world we find that people, when they do tapas, and we have seen there even just now in Kumbh Mela, you see so many people doing such tapas, and they do padayatras, they do Shashtang Namaskar, circumambulations from one city to another city. So there's a lot of idea of tapas, and it definitely is purifying. This is not contradicted at all. It's accepted in Vedanta. But what is corrected, the thought that is corrected is that expectation that lulls behind us while we engage in tapas. That expectation has to be set right. By default, we think that this tapas will give us freedom. It'll give us happiness, etc. It'll destroy my papam means, but natural. The idea is it'll give me moksha. So the direct question here is, does tapas in the form of kayika, vachika, manas, karmas and upasanas, or any spiritual austerity done in any religion in any manner, as long as it is employing these three uh, upadhis, these three organs of ours, organ of action, organ of speech, and mind. If it's employing any of these three, then what are we to expect out of this? Is my expectation that it will give me liberation? Correct. That is the question. क्या मेरी सोच सही है कि ये सब religious austerities करके मुझे मुक्ति मिल जाएगी? See, when we put it in Hindi, we are able to find the pulse of what a common man thinks. A common man, a layman, innocently believes कि तपस से मुझे मोक्ष मिलेगा. That is why we have had people living in caves. We have had people doing so much sadhana through their life. Yet it eludes them. What have they got? Definitely Chitta Shuddhi. Definitely Punyam. Definitely Sheena Papam. All this is correct. But will it give Atma Bodh? Will that tapas bring Atma Bodh? The first verse said, I am going to write Atma Bodh for mumukshus. Who are mumukshus? Mumukshu takes on to the life, a religious life, a disciplined life, with an idea that this is what is heard in society. This is what is known to me. This is what I believe my whoever I have Shraddha in are saying. This is what I think will take me to a higher destination, so-called destination. Is that correct? So the second verse is a correction of this. It says, while all this is good, all religious practices, they are only indirect means. They are those that will be sadhan. But what will be the sadhya for them? Sadhya means the goal that they accomplish. Only chitta shuddhi. That's the goal they accomplish. They don't accomplish moksha. Because the direct means for moksha is jnanam. Jnanam vina moksha na siddhyati. Siddhyati means accomplished. The word siddhas also comes from here, the same root. Now, when we call someone, ye to siddha purush hai. What do we mean by siddha purush hai? Means he is, even in the world, if you have set a goal in life and you accomplish that goal, आप क्या कहते हो? आप कहते हो कि मेरा ये सिद्ध हो गया. That siddhi means accomplishment, completeness. Vina jnanam, without knowledge, moksha na siddhyati. Moksha is not going to be an accomplishment. You will never be able to claim, own up that mukta purusha aham asmi. This cannot be claimed. What is the relation then of jnanam with moksha? Direct relation. Sakshat. Moksha sadhanam. It is sakshat, direct. Direct means pakasya vahnivat. Like fire is to food, cooking. While you have all the other ingredients, collection, and all the adjuncts that come along with it, the sub parts of cooking, a lot of steps that involve in the final process of cooking, before you put the vessel on fire, and especially in those days when this was written, there was only one means of cooking. That was a direct fire. We didn't have induction tops and etc., etc., etc. So direct means for cooking meant fire had to be there. Without fire, there was going to be no cooking. So you may have all the essentials accumulated. In a minute, please. You may have all the essentials accumulated. But without that direct means, cooking will not be there. So what is this? Why is jnanam the direct means? if one were to ask, how is the relation, what is the relation between Jnanam and Moksha? मोक्ष अगर ज्ञान से होता है तो उसका ऑपोजिट है दैट आई एम नॉट मुक्त द फीलिंग द थॉट कि मैं मुक्त नहीं हूं आई वॉन्ट मुक्ति that want is what we have established in the previous classes, that wantingness in us, which amounts to saying that I feel aparipurna at the present. I am not feeling complete in myself. I have a dependency on certain, whatever I may use the word. It is subjective experience of what I depend upon for my completeness. But the fact is that my dependence on something, that is the lakshana of me feeling I am not mukta. This feeling itself, and this is what the attention should be on, इस feeling को ही avidya कहते हैं. This is only vidya, avidya. Avidya is not in the form of ignorance as something huge. Just feeling that I am incomplete, I am not, or let me put it, next verse says it better. Let me complete there, come there. At this verse level, it only says that feeling that you have, the feeling that I am not paripurnam, and I seek something, that itself is avidya. Avidya is the cause of karma. It puts me to wanting to complete myself. It's put me into a cycle where I identify with the sharir. मैं ये देह हूँ. I am this body. I am this mind. I am this thoughts. I am these feelings. I am born. I will die. I am etc. etc. This entire process which has made me get identified with the body and start a cycle of wanting to do something to complete myself, it puts me into karma. He says this karma that is generated, now which karma are we talking about? Tapobhihi, Kaika, Vachika, Manasa karma also, and Upasana also. Even these karmas, they have come about because of avidya. Na avidyam avirodhitaya. This karma does not have a virodha to avidya. Why? I just said it. Because karma itself is a product of avidya. So, na vinivartayet. So, it cannot remove it. It's like saying, and a beautiful example, if it were to be given to children, or if I'm writing something, okay, let me use this side. If I do the other side, I'm sure you can see. If I write something, you can see, I'm sure. If I write something, I want to clean the slate. Should I use another pen to erase? Should I use another pencil to erase? Should I break this to erase? Should I try and duplicate it to erase? What will erase it? The opposite. What can erase this? That's an important point. I have a means, another color pen. Somewhere it is. There it is. I hope it's not. I have another color pen. Oh, I tried to erase it. I have a means. But this means is only adding further. Important. I have many tools available in the world. Parayanam, japa, etc., etc., etc. Whatever one is inclined for. I have many tools in the world, including meditation. All these tools, a thinker has to think. A mumukshu has to figure out that एक ही तो जीवन है ना मेरे पास अभी तो, साधन तो बहुत है मेरे पास, इनमें से कौन सा साधन है जो ये लिखे हुए को मिटाएगा? That we have to discern. So Shastra, and in particular Vedant, and in particular Advaita Vedant, and in particular Shankara's teachings has made it absolutely clear that discernment should be a part of the mumukshu's viveka shakti. कि अगर मैं ये सब employ कर, I may live a very religious life. Extreme, and people do. We know that in the world. If I'm living a religious life with an idea that at the end of my life, I will get moksha, or as we know, some religions would say, I will get heaven. And even in our things, yes, we can go to Vaikunt, we can go to Kailash, stay with gods over there. कौन सा साधन किस साध्य के लिए उपयोगी है? That's the question. I have one life, I have one opportunity as if. In this opportunity, all human beings have the same faculties. We all have hands and feet and speech, and we all have our minds, and we all have our thinking. And we all have a prana going in and out as per our prarabdha. This will last. कुछ भी कर लो, प्रारब्ध जब तक है तब तक तो जीवन है. Now, all this, how are we using? The same employment, the same upadhi that we all have, how are we employing it? So if the idea is that by doing these religious, a lot of people used to still ask, but after all, that person has lived such a spiritual life, has been such a gentle person, has done such good work in life, why is this person suffering? Or etc. Because we have automatically associated in our mind कि हम भगवान के नाम पे अगर कुछ भी करते हैं तो सुख और मुक्ति और आशीर्वाद और ब्लेसिंग्स और अनुग्रह तो automatically we have earned. But what is this classification of anugraha and blessing? So he says, what can remove avidya? Avidya is only not knowing. What will be the right sadhana of not knowing? If I ask you, what is your name? And if I ask, what is your name? Whoever I can see here. Okay, Neha, I can see. What is your name? You will say Neha. Is that the first thought that comes? What is your name? Who are you? Something comes. I don't know how to undo all this. We'll wait for it at the end of the class. That idea that I hold in my mind of who I am, that is the significant thing that tells us, is this avidya or not? If who I am is only pertaining to the height of my body and the weight of my body and the feelings I hold in the mind, ये तो avidya है. Shastra says it clearly. Why? Because यही है, I'm connecting it to the next verse, which is the idea of parichinnatva. Parichinna means feeling a sense of limitation. So the third verse says, karma is not a virodhi. I'm emphasizing this point because whoever studies further knows that this is the point that's elaborated in all contexts of karma, in Bhagavad Gita Bhashyams, in Brahma Sutra, that karma, even karma and gyan together, if you all remember, karma jnana samuchaya also doesn't give moksha. Karma ki to baat hi kahan karna hai. So why am I doing what I am doing? And what am I leaving when I'm doing all this? What am I not even doing what I ought to be doing? What I ought to be doing Atma Bodh, not just the text, Atma Bodh. Thinking about Atma. That means I need to know, I need to gain knowledge. That process of gaining knowledge is not A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H. It's not geography. Northeast is this, west is here, this country is there. It's not astronomy, that star is this. They're all objective knowledges. And objective knowledge itself takes a certain years to acquire. What is it that I am not knowing? What is it about who I am that I'm not clear about? I am so certain I am this. तो कौन सा बोध है जो मुझे होना चाहिए और जिस बोध के होने से मुझे मुक्ति मिलती है? Direct means, मतलब there is no sanshaya. There is no doubt about it. It's a direct means the minute I ignite fire, the cooking process starts. So direct means, what is that direct means for knowledge? How do I gain that? He says, this parichinna iva. Before that, just completing the third verse, this vidya itself is what will destroy. Nihanti. Hanti, pata hai na word hanti to sabne suna hai. Hanti, marna. Nihanti, completely not traceable. Completely destroyed. Vidya hi avidya ko maar sakti hai. And what is the reflection over it? How do I come to this clarity? Like Tejas Timira Sanghavat. However deep the darkness is, kitna bhi gehra kyun na ho, that it is immediately gone at the strike of light. In the same way, that light becomes direct means for removal of darkness. In other words, darkness is absence of light. That absence of light, which I'm calling darkness, and I'm experiencing darkness as a real entity, I cannot do anything in darkness to remove darkness. That doingness is not going to remove darkness. If anything that I have to do is I have to search the source of light. That light will remove darkness. And how is this darkness expressing? What is avidya? If I want more clarity on it, parichinna eva. Due to this agyanat, because of this agyan, I see myself as parichinna. Parichinna is limited. Kitna? And I explained the word last class. Chidda. Chidda means separation. To break, to separate. That's the root. Chidda. Chidda means seeing things separately. Just as in a body, when you start seeing a body from an anatomical perspective, even these two fingers are not the same. I see a distinction. There is a separation. This is different. This is index finger. This is middle finger. They are different. And this is completely different. This has a purpose. This is totally different. Etc. And the others, I guess I should not pick up. All fingers are seen separately. When I look at it from the perspective of separateness, I can identify the separateness. But when I look at it from the perspective of I, the whole, all these separate fingers are mine. Mere hain. This parichinna, this vision of separateness, ये अलग है, ये अलग है, ये अलग है, तुम अलग हो, मैं अलग हूँ, वो country अलग है, ये country, that entire bhed buddhi. This bhed buddhi is the lakshan of avidya. This bhed buddhi is bringing parichinnatvam in ourselves. And I'm parichinna how? Definitely defined by my body. As tall as I am is so I am. How tall are you? How tall are you means I have already imposed the tallness on me. मैं हूं. I will not give somebody else's height and say that is me. That strong, the tadatmyam with the sharir. This is parichinna. I am 5'2". I'm 5'5". I'm not 5'4". If somebody says, no, no, you're 5'4.5", क्या होता है हमको? सच सच बताएंगे. What happens inside? If I have a feeling I'm 5'5", I stand tall over others. And someone says, no, no, you're 5'4.5". Am I objective to that then? No. Why? Because that 5'5" I have taken as myself. And I have a pride over it. I have claim over it. वो परिचिन्नत्व है. That which is separating us. Eva. It's not an actual parichinnatva. And the best example he uses here is, in the example he says, Mega Pai. But connecting to that, what is Akash? Aparichinna. But what is that Akash in a ghata? Parichinna. What is this Akash when we divide? You know, when you buy a land, it's fascinating always. It's my favorite example. When you buy a land, that land is aparichinna. It holds infinite potential in it. आप कुछ भी बना सकते हो उसके ऊपर. But when you lay the foundation and when you put the brick, you've started making that parichinna. Now you're going to divide it into this room space, that room space, that room space, this room space, this empty space, this balcony. There are a lot of names now emerging. Now there are characteristics. Certainly in one particular room, I will not start cooking, and you know which room I'm referring to. I will not do cooking there. I mean, certainly in my kitchen area, I will not do the other work. Why? Because this parichinnatvam has now defining what I'm going to use that for. That is the nature of parichinnam. That one absolute infinite akash, total space, unlimited, holding infinite potential, is now beginning to see as divided. Iva is the word that is important in the verse. It is not an actual division. The actual division of the land never happened. But just because we drew a line between that country and this country, we have a potential war. Always. A line is determining this is mine, that is yours. Parichinnatvam, separated. Iva. This parichinnatvam, this notion itself is ajnanat. It's because of ajnanam. So what will happen? With knowledge, naturally the previous question is, vidya is directly eliminating avidya. So you will get what? First verse again, Atma Bodha. So what will happen? Mumukshu will get moksha with Atma Bodha, because the parichinnatvam has, when it gets destroyed, what do you get? Atma Bodha. Tat nashe, parichinnatvam nashe. Sati. Sati is that condition. It's important. It's sati. Sati means jab. Jab aisa hoga tab. That is called sati. Sati, it's in a sati saptami kind of usage of grammar. Nashe. Nashe sati. Those two words go together. Nashe sati. जब नाश होगा परिचिन्नत्वम का, इवा, वैसे भी वो इवा है. What happens, truly speaking? Supposing you take a ghata, a pot, and you buy a pot from the market, especially in summers, आप घड़ा लेके आते हो, क्यों लाते हो? पानी भरने के लिए. So what are you looking inside the ghada? pot space. You say, oh, khali hai, khali hai, khali hai. Look at the way our vyavhar starts. Oh, ye ghada khali hai. Pani bharna hai. The imposition of khaliness is only on the pot boundary. उसके अंदर की जगह. That's the imposition. खाली क्या है? घड़े के बाहर क्या खाली नहीं है? You get the point? Is it not empty outside the घड़ा? But घड़ा खाली दिखता है. So what happens? Break the घड़ा. The breaking of the घड़ा. Parichinna nashah sati. What remains? Kevalaha. That Akash was Keval before also. That Ghada was not limiting the Akash. Total space was not limited by the pot space. They were never divided in the first place. But they appear to be divided for usage. But when I break the walls of the pot, now there is no division. What remains? Kevalaha. That Kevalaha is, he's speaking again because what was that Jnanam? Brahma, Atma, Aikya Jnanam. That Kevalaha remains. When this Parichinnatvam is gone, then what remains? Kevalaha. What is Kevalaha? Atma, Brahma, Aikya Jnanam. That is Kevalaha. Then what? Swayam Prakashate hi Atma. Atma will reveal itself, Swayam Prakashaha, by itself. It doesn't need another knowledge to reveal itself. It's like saying, like in computation, and you have one knowledge, and based on that you acquire more skills, and then you again get more skills based on this knowledge. It's a process of dependent knowledge. So Atma Gyan ho gaya. कैसे पता चलेगा? How will I know that my ignorance is gone or it's destroyed? How do I know that Parichinnatvam is gone? Swayam Prakashaha hi Atma. That Atma reveals itself in its own light. And we have done this, I think, in details also to some extent. I don't remember where, but Prakashate. It's a light. Light of what? Whatever falls in your consciousness now. Let's start from here. I'm using a word apple. What happened when you heard the word apple? An image came to your mind. That image of an apple corresponds to the meaning of the word apple. So we have a communication. When I say get me an apple, you won't get me a banana. You will get me or I will get you an apple if you ask for an apple. Where has that knowledge revealed? तुमने बाहर से सुना, आपने कान में पड़ा एप्पल शब्द. बोध किसको हुआ एप्पल का? How do you know that I know apple? And I will not get anything else then. I will only get that what was asked. Because I know what it means. I know what the word apple means. Where it is falling, the word, where it is falling, that consciousness is nothing but pure revealer. उसमें जो भी आएगा वो reveal करेगा. The entire Jagat is revealed because of it actually. But I don't know the entire Jagat yet. Because I have a shroud of avidya of objects. Even objects I have avidya. Few years ago, when was it? All human race, the way we have evolved ourselves, is all what? Exploration of ignorance. What is science? Entirely. We are removing that what I do not know. I don't know which other planet there is. So I start exploring, and then that Ajnanam is revealed. What is revealed? What there was already. Jo already tha. When all the words fall into this, it is knowledge taste. Gyan. Gyan is nothing but I know. I know is nothing but light. I do not know is darkness. जब हम कहते हैं I'm confused, we look at our own expressions in the mirror also. Or when somebody else is saying, I'm very confused, yeah, I don't know. I don't know what to do. Our whole face is sukda hua. We have all wrinkles showing up. I don't know. Forget it. What we don't like, it's an unpleasant expression. I know. समझ में आ रहा है. Instantly, when you understand, when you understand, that your face also shows that you've understood. Because it's that expression of knowledge that comes through. How do teachers know, when you study in the colleges and all that, how do the teachers know kisko samajh mein aa raha hai, kisko nahi aa raha hai? That is why the videos are kept on. Not that I can see everyone. किसको समझ में आ रहा है, किसको नहीं आ रहा है? Why? Because जैसे ही समझ में आता है, without your control, the light is illumined. You have no control. It's knowledge. It's Bodha. He says, just as Swayam Prakashate, this Atma is Swayam Prakasham. It is not something that is going to need another source of knowledge to reveal itself. Otherwise, it will be anavastha. Anavastha means regress ad infinitum. If to know Atma, I need Vedantic knowledge, then you would say that knowledge is not complete. So how will I further know this is Atma? I will need another knowledge to know this is Atma. Then how will you know that is correct final knowledge? I will need another knowledge to say this is Atma. This is regress ad infinitum. It will never end. That's a flaw in thinking. So वो शास्त्र बन ही नहीं सकता. You can't qualify it as शास्त्र then. Wherever there is a regress ad infinitum flaw that arises in thinking, now you've gone on a wrong track. You will never achieve the final siddhi nahi aayegi. So what is it? Swayam Prakashaha. Atma is Swayam Prakashaha. How? Another example. Megha apaye. That is why the example of the total space and pot space. Sunlight seems to be all pervasive. But what happens when there are clouds? Temporarily, iva. Parichinna iva. Oh, there is light here, there is no light there. Oh, light is blocked, etc., etc. Oh, it is night. Oh, I can't see. The sun was still revealing. When we draw curtains in summers, what have we done? We have layered away the sunlight. We have made it parichinna. Open the curtain. There is light before, there is light now. Just the same way, megha apaye, when the clouds are dispersed, amshuman eva, like the sun again reveals itself, it always was. In the same way, when this parichinnatvam, which is a jnana lakshanam, gets destroyed with Atma Bodh, that kevala sthiti is Swayam Prakashaha, and that Swayam Prakashaha reveals itself like the sun reveals when the clouds are dispersed. And then the last verse, Ajnana Kalusham Jivam. He says, how do I get into all this sadhana then? How do I know what is knowledge? This parichinnatvam. Why have I acquired it if I'm always Swayam Prakasha Atma? Then why am I feeling a parichinna? Says, this is the Ajnana Kalusham. Kalusham is impurity. Impurity is what? I would love to draw this. That is the definition of Jiva Bhav. Vahi Jeev hai. It is equal to Jivam. Jivatvam. That Parichinnatvam is Jivatvam. And what is Jivatvam? Kalusham. What is that Kalusham? It is in the form of impurity. What is that impurity? Jivatva. What is its lakshan? Karta, bhokta, wanting, kama, krodha, lobha, moha, adi. He is going to speak of it in the next verse. What is this kalusham? This kalusham, which is one word in a simple verse, like fifth verse, jivatvam is kalusham. Who is not a jiva here? कौन अपने आप को जीव नहीं कहता? Every prani is a jiva. Every prani is parichinna, believes themselves to be parichinna as they feel. Eva is always to be added along. As they think they are. That is due to ajnana. Ajnana kalusham. It is the impurity of ignorance. Jivatvam is an impurity of ignorance. And this impurity, he says, what happens? Jnana abhyasat. Jnana ke abhyas se this impurity, vinirmalam, it gets cleaned up, purified. And what is that jnana abhyasat? He says, that jnana abhyasa is constant reflection of what is jivatva bhav and how that is anatma. What is this entire srishti? What is this jiva bhav doing in this srishti? What is the sambandha between the creation and this individual? What is the relation between the world and me? This, when I start seeing through that, kar liya jab, jnana abhyasa, as I said in the last class, not just repeating aham brahmasmi, that's not jnana abhyas. Shravanam, manana, nididhyasanam. Constantly reflecting upon the Shastra Prakriya. Through that Jnana Abhyasat, this Jivatva Bhav starts to eliminate. What did the karma tapobhi do? It only brought a karma phal. पाप का नाश किया उसने. और कर्म फल का मतलब क्या है? अनित्य है वो. Am I making connection? If I see this, then I'll repeat myself. If I see this, I'll move forward. Anybody's lost here? Okay, I'll just repeat. Needs repeating, Sonu? Okay. What is ajnana kalusham? Impurity. जीवत्व भाव जो हम सबका है. What is this ज्ञान अभ्यास? क्योंकि उसी से ये impurity जाएगी और वो जाने से निर्मल हो जाएगा. What is this ज्ञान अभ्यास? In simple terms, it is shravanam, mananam, nididhyasanam. Shravanam of what? The entire process through which we know ourselves, who we are, which is Atma, Anatma, Vivek, in a simple term. There are other prakriyas like Drik, Drishya, Vivek, Panchakosha, Vivek, so Avasthatraya, Vivek. So there are a lot of such Vivek prakriyas in Vedanta. That is the abhyas. Shravan karke Atma Brahm ka aikyam, to try to reduce this ignorance around how is that Brahman and Atman one. आज तो हमारी जीव बुद्धि के बाहर है. जीव बुद्धि अगर है तो आत्मा ब्रह्म ऐक्य बुद्धि हो ही नहीं सकती. बट जीव बुद्धि को ही सोचना है. How is this? I am Atma. When this starts, the thinking process starts, that is Jnana Abhyas. I'm able to see the Anatma. What is Anatma ka lakshan? Nitya, Anitya. Whatever is transient, whatever is changing, whatever is ephemeral is all Anitya. And whatever is Anitya is Anatma. So negation, neti. ये तो वो नहीं है, ये तो वो नहीं है, ये तो वो नहीं है, ये तो वो नहीं है. आत्मा क्या है? I cannot objectify it as a place. I cannot objectify as a thing. But I can certainly negate what is not Atma, because that is my experience of Parichinnatva. That's the limitation. Clear? Anybody else who's not clear? Everybody clear? All right. Aditi? Clear? Aditi clear? Shambhavi clear? I'm asking all those who are new because Ujjwalji, is that okay? I know you have a question, but I'll come to that. Neha, Bhavna, all others I'm sure are clear because वो हम सुन चुके हैं. Neeru, Tanya, Malika, you're okay? All right, so I'm presuming everyone's okay. We move forward. Neetaji also must be okay. Rajni must be okay. Vedika must be okay. Divya, you're okay? We're okay. So everybody's okay. So we've finished the 5 verses. We've just revised today. That's the thought flow. Okay. Yeah, I'll take a question now. Ujjwalji, you still have a question? You can unmute yourself. Right?
Radhe Radhe Deepti
Radhe.
You mentioned moksha. I just wanted to know what moksha is.
Right. Moksha is a term. It's just a word. It's a term indicating an avastha. Avastha means an established experience जिसमें हम हैं. For example, now हम कहेंगे we are awake. I'm awake. तो हम किस अवस्था में हैं? हम जागृत अवस्था में. I'm awake means automatically what is my avastha? I'm jagrat. And this jagrat is left unquestioned by all of us. This is real. This avastha means my experience that I abide in. The question is this experience of Jagrat that I find myself every day in, which I call real, in which I'm doing and looking and etc. Is this a source of happiness for me? Sometimes yes, sometimes no. That means it's changing. अगर ये अवस्था नित्य नहीं है, तो इसको शास्त्र कहता है कि ये हमको एक नित्य अवस्था के लिए लगाए रखता है. Because my experience is not नित्य है. अब क्यों लगाए रखता है? क्योंकि हम by source, by nature, we are already नित्य. जो हम already हैं, लेकिन now there are a lot of theories. We'll bypass the theories. क्यों हम ऐसे हैं? They are intellectual gymnastics. We don't need to get involved too much into all that. Take any explanation that suits your intellect. That's no problem over there. Fact is कि मेरी जो ये अवस्था है जिसमें मैं कुछ ना कुछ ढूंढ रही हूँ जागृत अवस्था में. Honestly speaking, we've divided the day into 24 hours, out of which say 12-14 hours is all that I have a jagrat avastha. And my concept of 24 hours includes my sleep and my dream. And all that 24 hours is actually only a division of standpoint is jagrat. Sleep में तो कोई time है नहीं. Dream में तो अपना ही time है कोई. उसकी तो गति कुछ और है. वो suddenly from childhood I grow into becoming an old person. उसका तो time cycle ही अलग है. That means that 24 hours that feels nitya to me, this is also actually just a jagrat ka experience. Is that absolute real? No. So through all the Upanishads, means one after another, when we start doing this Prasthanatraya, एक question Shankaracharya has in these 10 Upanishads, he brings up one highlighting thought prakriya. Like in this example today that I'm taking Jagrat Avastha, the simple prakriya is, if I keep looking at ki I am searching for something in this limited time, which I have divided, keeping that itself into account, waking into account में ही waking को मैं divide कर रही हूँ. That is so illogical, truly speaking. That means, what did our rishis and everybody observe? This is just your playground. Jagrat is your karma bhumi. Jagrat is your playground. Jagrat is your bhoga bhumi. Jagrat is where you have full freedom according to Shastra. आपका पुरुषार्थ पूरा manifest हो चुका है. You can use your purusharth to do, as we just said, tapas kar lo, to earn money, usko fir apna badhao, karo, and etc. Whatever, it's your will. Nobody will question it. You have, it's a free will already earned through human body. This, that I keep looking for something in the Jagrat Avastha is called bondage. क्योंकि मुझे वो तृप्ति मिलती नहीं कहीं. थोड़ी देर के लिए भी मिलती है, फिर खो जाती है. The money hasn't fulfilled me, relation hasn't fulfilled me, friendships haven't fulfilled me, nothing has, no play toy has fulfilled me, nothing. That's why a human being is constantly modifying objects and objects. यही सोच के कि कल को शायद किसी को तो मिलेगी, हमारे जनरेशन को नहीं मिली, हो सकता है आगे के जनरेशन को मिल जाएगी. यही पिछले जनरेशन ने सोचा था, चलो हमें नहीं तो आगे मिल जाएगी, पर नहीं होता है ऐसे, क्योंकि ये इट्स अ फ्लॉड सर्च. इस डायरेक्शन ऑफ सर्च में ही प्रॉब्लम है. सो आवर शास्त्र सेज यूज योर जागृत अवस्था, because without this Jagrat Avastha, you cannot entertain this reversal of focus. Internalizing the query instead of making it external, when you internalize the query and you start questioning within yourself, your own self, who are you? This brings you to a state of bondage. Brings you to a state of moksha, which is an avastha, which is freed of all these three changing states of waking, dream, and deep, etc. वो अवस्था एक बोध की अवस्था है. Not that your waking, dream, and deep sleep will disappear. वो एक ज्ञानी को भी होगा, मुक्त पुरुष को भी, वो भी सोएगा, वो भी उठेगा, वो भी खाएगा, वो भी पिएगा, वो भी बातें करेगा, वो भी सब कुछ करेगा. मगर जो ये हमारे अंदर हमको एक अनुभव हो रहा है कि मेरे को नहीं पता मैं कहाँ से आई, एंड वी हैव अ फियर ऑफ टुमारो, वी आर अनसर्टन इवन ऑफ फ्यूचर लाइव्स. दैट इज व्हाई वी डू गुड कर्मास टुडे इन दिस लाइफ. कम से कम आज ये जन्म खराब हुआ, आगे के जन्म तो अच्छे हो जाए. दैट इज व्हाई वी ट्राई एंड मेंटेन आवर रिलेशनशिप्स, कि भैया कोई कड़वे रिलेशन आगे चल के फिर से वापस ना आ जाए. ऑल दिस पुरुषार्थ व्हाई डू वी डू? Because we believe there is a continuity, and we know we are not freed. Everything is not in our hands. That is the bondage. Word बहुत बड़ा है, but that is what we are just expressing. Jivatvam. That is what he called as jiva. So moksha is absolutely, it's a dimension different, which means that person is still abiding with this sharir. वो भी खा रहा है, पी रहा है, सो रहा है, लेकिन उसको अब सर्च नहीं रह गई. वो अपने इस जो आज हमको सिर्फ एक कॉन्शियसनेस की एक भनक लगती है, वो अब उस अवस्था से जुड़ चुका है, उसने पहचान लिया है. बिकॉज दैट इज द बेस ऑफ ऑल द थ्री स्टेट्स एनीवे. सो दैट इज द ज्ञान अभ्यास. वो बार बार उसी चीज को देखता है. एवरी टाइम जीवत्वम टेक्स ओवर, वो फिर साधना करता है. वो रमना इज द बेस्ट एग्जाम्पल वी हैव फॉर इट. इन द प्रेजेंट टाइम्स रमना महर्षि जैसा, on the Atma Vidya, there is no seeker like that who has become a Siddha with this prakriya that Vedanta talks of. And he just went on doing the abhyas of it. And finally, that's moksha. When one abides in it, then this whole cycle of parichannatvam ends. That's how this is. Is that okay?
Yes. Thank you so much. And there must be a place where even moksha does not exist, right?
There must be a place where moksha doesn't exist. What do you mean by that?
I mean, even the moksha does not exist, anything beyond
Ah,
the duality.
Moksha and bondage, bandhan, they are pleasure and pain. The question of moksha only arises because of bandhan. Per se, it's like आकाश तो बंधा नहीं है. तो आकाश को आप क्या जवाब दो, क्या कहोगे? You cannot describe it. By itself, it is already free. So yes, so, moksha is a relative term with reference to bandhan. It's a prakriya. Anybody else has a question? We are paused because we've moved forward before we move forward. I think now everyone can unmute. If you have a question, we'll take 1 minute. So we move forward. Quickly move. How much time is there? Bhavna, you have, yes, Bhavna. Oh, we've crossed 1 hour. Yeah, you can ask a question first, Bhavna. Then we'll quickly start this. If everybody is okay, we'll just cover the next, start with it. Yes, Bhavna?
दीप्ति जी, मुझे ये लग रहा है कि ये सवाल थोड़ा आई एम फीलिंग दैट इट्स गोइंग टू बी अ सिली क्वेश्चन, लेकिन आ गया है मन में. अनित्य को कैसे समझते हैं? अनित्य के आई मीन आत्मा है. इट्स आपने जो बहुत सुंदरता से समझाया कि व्हेन द क्लाउड is on this, I mean, it covers the sky. There is no problem with the sky there. You have to just remove the cloud. Once it is removed, the sky is revealed. Atma is revealed through the process of neti. कि ये अनित्य है तो ये आत्मा नहीं है. अब ये जो प्रोसेस है अनित्य का, ये अनित्य है, ये अनित्य है, ये मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि मैं इसको ठीक से नहीं समझी. सिर्फ मरना और जीना ही अनित्य नहीं है. सिर्फ उठना और सोना और स्वप्न में जाना ही क्या अनित्य है?
Pravaha nitya hai. That's where the difference is. एक प्रवाह नित्य है, एक कूटस्थ नित्य है. What is pravaha nitya? Anityam which looks like nityam. The same wave is the same when there's a river flowing. You don't have the same water at the same bank at the same time again, ever again. But there is always water there. The river's flowing. That pravaha nityatvam means there is a continuous change always happening. जो नित्य दिखता है, नित्य है, but उसका लक्षण क्या है? वो अनित्य है. You can't hold the same water there, but it's in continuous motion. That motion is not ending. Where will it end? Ajnana nashe. Till then, this is not ending. So it looks like Nityam. It just immediately replaces. I think in one of these sessions, I just said it, revising it again for 2 minutes. When we wake up, जीव भाव है ना हमारा. ये जीव भाव हमारा संसार के साथ जुड़ा हुआ है. I am the experiencer of the world. When I woke up, the thought of me being Deepti and the world being there came together. The objects of the world came together. All these came together. And then if I have some faith in some God, I remember God. So God came together. So Jiva, Jagat और ईश्वर तीनों साथ आ गए. मगर ये जीव नित्य है, अनित्य है. At every moment, ये जीव भी नाश हो रहा है. जैसे देह नाश हो रहा है लेकिन हमें दिखता नहीं है. हमारा बॉडी चेंज हो ही रहा है ना, तभी तो हम सब विकारी हैं, गोइंग इनटू द नेक्स्ट अवस्था. ये जो चेंज हो रहा है और दिख नहीं रहा है हमको, बट है, इतनी बारीक हमारे हमारे अंतकरण की, आई मीन हमारे कर्णों की सूक्ष्मता नहीं है. My eyes don't have that sensitivity as a instrument that I can see the change in my cells every day, but I can see them over a period of time. इसके साथ जीवत्व भी नष्ट हो रहा है साथ साथ. I know it's a leap in thinking. It's a googly. जीवत्व भी साथ साथ नष्ट होता है. While वो नष्ट होता है, रिप्लेस हो गया. तो हमें दिखता है कांस्टेंट. It's continuously there. It needs thinking, it needs reflection. There is no confusion there, really speaking. What is anityam? जिसका आदि है उसका अंत है. जहां आदि और अंत है वो अनित्य है. That's as simple as that. और जो उत्पन्न हुआ है, what has a beginning means it has emerged. जिसकी उत्पत्ति हुई है उसका नाश होगा. That is अनित्य. तो यहाँ कुछ भी, we have to examine as much as जहां जहां हम जुड़ जाते हैं, when we start examining those areas, we'll realize कि यहाँ ऐसा कोई कहीं हम जुड़े ही नहीं किसी चीज से जो नित्य है. हमको सिर्फ जीव, मैं नित्य दिखती हूँ, बाकी तो सब हो जाए अनित्य दिखता है. और मैं में भी एक्चुअली स्पीकिंग मेरा अहंकार ही मुझको तो नित्य दिखता है. और मेरी प्लेजर सीकिंग वृत्ति, मैं ही राइट हूँ. मतलब दिस इज हाउ मच, एंड दैट्स द नेक्स्ट वर्स इज गोइंग टू टॉक अबाउट नाउ. This is how assertive our sense of man, nityatvam in me is there, which is actually anitya. Okay? For now.
Yes,
I
yes.
will just quickly, I think though we are up above time, we'll just start the next verse. Samsara swapna tulyo hi ragat dveshadi sankulaha swakale satyavad bhati prabodhe satya sadbhavet. He says, what is this jiva? This jiva is जो अज्ञान का कलुष है, जीवत्व. इसका मान लिया कि अज्ञान ज्ञान के अभ्यास से चला जाएगा. बट ये जो कलुष है, impurity, what is it? राग द्वेषादि संकुलः. संकुलः means भरा हुआ, crowded, बहुत ज्यादा. It's a full expression. राग द्वेष आदि का संकुल है. What is जीवा भाव? He says samsarah. This samsar, this entire Jagrat Avastha, जिसमें I am enjoying and reveling, thinking Vava, this entire my Vava is nothing but Raga Dveshadi Sankulaha. That's the first point of recognition. Ye siraf, and that Sankula word, very difficult to explain, truly speaking, but it's like you can take it in the meaning of contradictions. You can take it in the meaning of inconsistence. Sankula, raga, dvesh ka, it's inconsistently always there. Raga and dvesh. Bhara hua is the most common meaning employed in this context. It's crowded, it's full of raga, dvesh. Samsar is only full of raga, dvesh. But what is the beautiful part of it? अगर ऐसा ही है तो हमको किसी को सुख मिल ही नहीं सकता. He says, what is that gyan ka abhyas that is going to give you the destruction of agyan? When you know that this samsara raga dvesha sankulaha, he indeed is swapnatulyaha. It is like a dream. The entire Jagrat is what? Like a dream. Swakale Satyavat bhati. Bha is again light. Bhati means satya lagta hai while it is there. Prabodhe, but जानने पे, prabodhe sati, again sati. When you know it, asat bhavet. It is asat. It is not real. While it is here, what is Jagrat looking? Very real. Swakale, while it is being experienced, there is reality. But what is it truly? This samsara is only raga, dvesha, adi, sankulaha. And you add everything in it, attachments, aversions, likes, dislikes, ahankar, सब कुछ जोड़ दो इसके अंदर. जीव भाव पूरा. उसी को संसार कहते हैं. We have come to the next topic. If you all remember, the next topic was nature of the world. We'll come to this. Nature of the world. What is the nature of the world? That's the first verse in the next topic. Nature of the world. What is it? This world is only full of ragadvesh. And that's all we see everywhere. This ragadvesh, truly speaking, is only swapnatulya. I'll explain in the next class. It's like a dream. While it is being experienced, the world is being experienced. Sansar jab experience ho raha hai, satya lagta hai. But when I truly know it, its nature, on knowing it is the right translation. Sati, prabodhe sati. जानने पे, अच्छे से जानने पे, संसार को भी जब अच्छे से मैं जान लूंगी, तो वो असत भवेत. And what is asat? Bhavna, what is asat? That was your question. That's why I'm asking you. असत is अनित्य. वही अनित्य है. That is असत. लगता सत है मगर है नहीं. वही असत है. While it is being explained, there are a lot of examples. We'll take that in the next class. Okay. So we have completed Anubandha Chatushtayam, Sadhana Chatushtayam and Adhikari, and means for moksha. Now where are we? Nature of samsara. 6 to 11. That's the topic. 6 to 11 verse is going to talk about nature of samsara. We'll just end the class. Om Sarvesham Swastir Bhavatu. Sarvesham Shantir Bhavatu. Sarvesham Mangalam Bhavatu. Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinaha. Sarve Santu Niramayaha. Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu. Ma Kaschit Dukha Bhag Bhavet. Om Asato Ma Sadgamaya. Tamaso Ma Jyotirgamaya. Mrityorma Amritam Gamaya. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Swasti Prajabhya Paripalayantam Nyayena Margena Mahim Mahishaha Go Brahmanebhya Shubhamastu Nityam Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu Kale Varshatu Parjanyaha Prithvi Sasya Shalini Deshoyam Kshobarahitaha Brahmana Santu Nirbhayaha. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Just end this, and then if anybody has